What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Bigs podcast. It has been a very long time. And this is episode number 42.
That's it.
This is it, 42. All right. And we're so happy to be back. I know I've missed it. Um, right now we've got the AAA team filling in for Joe and Ben, who I don't know if a lot of you know, but Joe just drove across the country and moved to the East Coast, and he is now living with our commissioner. They are roommates, which is very dangerous for us in the league, but we are filling in for them as Joe still gets situated and has to set up all of his equipment and find some Wi-Fi that works. Um, but I am thrilled right now to be here with my other co-host here, Jason Ashby. How you doing, Jason?
Mike, I'm doing great. Yeah, it has been a while. Lots happened the last 4 or 5 weeks or so since we last all got together. So, starting with Joe now, going from coast to coast. So I'm happy to be filling in for him and Ben. And why don't you tell us what we're talking about today?
All right. So today we're going to do kind of a special episode. Because we've missed the past 4 weeks, we are doing a recap of the past month in the Bigs, which includes weeks 16, 17, 18, and 19. So a 4 week, 1 month recap. But we're going to do it in kind of a different format so that we're not going to do a deep dive into every matchup. We're going to be going team by team and talking, just kind of assessing has that team performed in the past 4 weeks. Are they trending in a positive direction, like towards a playoff spot or towards a consolation spot? Um, or did they take steps backwards since we last had a show 4 weeks ago? But a lot has changed, and I don't know. What are your thoughts on this in general right now?
Yeah, look, we knew that this was going to be a wild and crazy, finish to the season, and it's living up. I mean, Joe is no longer in first place. He's no longer head of household. Like he sat in there for a very long time, looking very comfortable, and now all of a sudden he's not in that spot anymore. But he has clinched his way to the playoffs, so he can maybe rest easy a little bit. Other guys are moving up, moving fast. Other guys are moving down, and it has been wild.
Yes, it has. So let's dive right into this. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we will share the current standings of our league right now. Um, and Jason, you said it. We have a new head of household, and his name is Chris Levy, and he sits on top by 5.5 games. And not
Yeah.
only that, I do also want to give a shout out to Chris and Joe for both um, clinching their playoff spots
Yep.
with 2 weeks
And
left.
and I mean, look at that. It's the two of them, and then everybody else. Like like Jimmy is there in third place, but he's 33 and a half games out of second place. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And right now I'm only 7 back of him, so like
Yeah.
he's not set in stone in third place by any
No,
means.
no, that whole next bunch there is like so not set in stone.
Yeah,
But it's just it,
I'm not guaranteed a playoff spot here by any
yeah,
means, so like scary.
it's
Um,
crazy. 2 weeks
so
left and anything can happen.
yeah, anything could happen. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna start with Chris Levy, who is the Aaron Paul show. So we'll go ahead and click on his team. And because we are talking about the last month, what we're going to do is we're going to show the statistics for Chris Levy's offense and pitchers over the course of the past 30 days or so. This is more or less an estimate of what these players have or have not done on their team. Because keep in mind now, this is not taking into account the possibility that maybe somebody was benched for a day, or
Right.
maybe he, you know, he forgot to play a pitcher one day, so he was sitting on the bench and didn't get those stats in.
Or
Um,
if he added somebody, maybe 3 weeks into the month or something like that.
right. So what we're doing is we are choosing the best players that have been on this manager's team throughout that almost the entire month, for at least
Yeah.
the majority of that month.
Yeah.
So what we'll do first is we'll talk about the matchups that he had over the previous 4 weeks. So in week 16, Chris Levy takes a 12-7 victory over Bobby Russo. In week 17, a 15-5 victory over you. Week 18, a 14-5 victory over Josh. And week 19, we see this monumental takedown, a 19-1 victory over Matt Losi.
And just to like broaden the scope a little bit for Chris, just to show how dominant of a season Chris Levy's had. Like you go even beyond that. Like that's 4 wins in a row. He's only lost 3 times the entire season,
Yeah.
and that's week 1, week 3, and week 11. Every other week has been a win for this guy. It's
Wow.
it's incredible with the kind of season he's putting up.
Wow. I did not even notice that. That is
Yeah,
bananas.
yeah,
Look at his biggest loss of the season though, Jason.
yeah. I see it. You can hang that on your hat.
Um, all right, so you're right. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. This is not just 4 weeks in a row of victory. This is 8 weeks in a row of victory. But since we are kind of zeroing in on the last 4 weeks, let's
Yep.
kind of break this down from week 16 to 19. His winning percentage in those 4 weeks, he went 60 and 18 with a 769 winning percentage. And again, that takes into account all the statistics that were not tied. So if there was a tie, it's not taking that into account.
Right.
Do you want to go through the players? Do you want me to?
Take it away. Yeah.
All right. So I guess I'll finish off this Chris Levy month.
Yeah.
But for the month here, and I can bring up his page again. For the month, Chris Levy had actually a bunch of MVPs, but we have to pick just one,
With
unfortunately.
a 769 winning percentage, I would imagine he would.
Yeah. So we're gonna choose Paul Goldschmidt. So you could see his statistics here over the past month. With 350 batting average, of 442 on base, 24 runs, 6 doubles, 9 homers, 27 RBIs, 16 walks, and 24 strikeouts. You could have easily looked at Aaron Judge. You could have looked at Alex Bregman, who has been on fire the second half of the
How about
season.
that, right? I mean, we put him out to pasture, the first half of the year.
I hate that he's playing so well. Really.
Even like Mark Kenna has been red hot for the Mets right now, and
Yeah.
he doesn't have the only 3 home runs. He doesn't have the counting stats necessarily, but that 329, 429 average on base is solid. Like
Yeah.
there's no weaknesses in this lineup.
No, there's not at all. And like Luis Arraez, who is, he's got such a great batting eye, such a great batting average. He's always on base. Like he kind of had a down month, but
Yeah.
like, it doesn't bother me. And Acuna was hurt for a little bit, so like when this team is full strength, it's super scary.
Yeah.
So his least valuable player of the month, we're gonna give it to Ketel Marte, who is pretty much the only glaring player here who didn't do much for him. With a 184 average, 241 on base, 8 runs, 3 doubles, no homers, 8 RBIs, no steals, 4 walks, and 20 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's you kind of expect at least a steal from this guy, and he's only got 4 on the year. Like that's supposed to be he's a fast guy. I would want double-digit steals from this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know what happened to him because it's
Yeah.
not like he lost a ton of playing time either. He's just not getting the hits.
Yeah.
All right, so Cy Young, now we're gonna scroll down a little, and this is quite unfortunate for Chris Levy, as his Cy Young winner is now on the IL, but we're gonna give it to Tony Gonsolin. 28 and 2/3 innings, 5 wins in a month. You probably have six starts max in a month, right?
You play for the Dodgers, that's what's gonna happen. I mean, that team doesn't lose.
Yeah. 5-0. He only gave up 1 home run, 8 walks, 26 strikeouts, a 157 ERA, and a .80 WHIP. Pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
And his Cy Yuck, well, it's kind of hard to find one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, so what I did is I gave it to Emilio Pagan, just because it was hard to pinpoint someone. Um, and he's been on his team pretty much the entire month. I know Griffin Jacks was kind of a later ad. Uh,
Yeah.
Mark Melanson was hurt for a while. So I gave it to Emilio Pagan, 16 innings, a win, 2 losses, 3 homers, 4 walks, 16 strikeouts, a 5.06 ERA, a 1.69 WHIP, and 13 relief appearances. One thing I do want to point out as well is that when we are breaking it down monthly like this, a lot of the most valuable players or least valuable players, their numbers are going to be a little more normalized than what we see. We're not going to see extremes
Right.
because this is more a full month of the year. People are going to have their highs and lows. It's not like one hot streak that someone's riding.
And
So
especially for like relievers where one bad outing could blow up your ERA or something like that.
yeah, right. But so Emilio Pagan had 13 chances to get into a game here during
And he
this
gave
month.
yeah, and to not record a save, like I know the Twins kind of bolstered their bullpen, but like no saves, uh, and even like Melanson, like he has got a couple of saves, but like
Yeah,
he's been shitty.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah,
That. But if you look up and down this pitching rotation here, it's terrifying, especially if Gonsolin, if this is not too terrible of an injury, I'm not sure. It says that he'll be able to return after a minimum stay. Um, but with Gonsolin, Castillo, McClanahan, Fried, like I don't know if it gets better than the top four.
yeah. I mean, Joey Montgomery has been like ridiculous. He
I
wasn't
don't
great
even
the other day against the Braves, but like he's been solid all year.
I don't even want to talk about it.
How's Harrison Bader doing?
Oh, he's great. He's
Yeah.
really, really great. Oh my God. So that's some of the superlatives for Chris's team over the past month. Um, Throughout the past month, now we are doing our ads and transactions a little bit differently in this episode. Um, we're not going to talk about who specifically was added and dropped. We are just going to speak to the number of ads throughout the 4 weeks and sort of assess how much management actually went into this month. So for Chris Levy, he used 20 ads, and the maximum over 4 weeks is 48 ads. So he used less than half.
Right. Which with a team like this, why would you need to make any more than that? Like, I mean, yeah, tinker a little bit here and there, but there's not a whole lot you need to do to this roster.
Yeah. And I feel like we're going to find that with a lot of teams. Like as we go through all 16 here, like rosters are kind of set at this point. I mean, there's still a lot of movement, but I don't
A lot
know.
of streaming, yeah, just a lot of streamers, a lot of
Yeah.
bullpen ads, and obviously if the guy gets hurt, replacement for injury,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's pretty much there shouldn't be a whole lot of movement going on.
Yeah. And finally here we're gonna just mention the standings update. So Chris Levy, like we said before, he has been riding second place for a very long time. And he transitioned up to first place, so that's a +1 for Chris in the standings. Um, and finally, as we put a bow on Chris Levy's month, we get to talk about his next matchup, which is with the number 2 seed, Joe Schubert, which I cannot
That's
wait to see how this matchup unfolds.
Yeah, that is gonna be incredible.
Any predictions?
Man, I don't know. It's hard to count either of these teams out.
Yeah.
But if my life depended upon it right now, I'd have to go with Chris Levy. He's just so red hot right now. I don't know how you stop this guy.
Yeah. I don't know. No one's been able to do it except three
Except for
teams.
you What, you, your brother, and Bobby?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
my
that's
brother
it.
and Bobby, it was week 1 and 3, and Chris didn't really know what his team was yet.
Right. And then he came back and beat them anyway. So
Yeah, he did. But Chris Levy now is 15-1 in his last 16 weeks.
that's
Stupid.
just ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. So we've talked about the head of household. So congratulations, Chris Levy, on
Yes,
your tremendous
congratulations.
month. You actually blew all of us out of the water with your 769 winning percentage. Nobody came close to that.
Not even.
Um, Jason, you want to take the honors of Joe Schubert?
Yeah, let's do it. So in week 16, Joe took a 13-7 win over Frank Bucco. That was a fun matchup to watch. I did watch that, and I think everybody's eyes was on that matchup. So that was fun. Then Joe took a 12-7 victory over Brian Lebo in week 17. He then took a 12-9 win over Mike Sherman in week 18, and just squeaked out a 10-9 win over you, sir, just last week. That was also a very highly anticipated matchup.
Yeah, that was a really fun one. And I know we are not deep diving into matchups, but it was 10-10 until Gregory Soto gave up a home run in the ninth inning of like the second to the last game on Sunday. So it was 10-10. I was like, I'm going out with a tie, number one seed with the number one seed right now, and like Gregory Soto had to come in and screw it all up. So
But hey, a 10-9 win again, like you said, over the at the time number one seed. That's still, that's still pretty impressive.
yeah, I'll take the 10-9 loss all day.
Yeah, yeah,
And I also have not lost in a while, so I'll take that. Oh no, Joe has not lost in a while. The Joe
yeah,
has not lost since week 8 to Ben.
yeah. To Ben, yeah, he's also had a good run. You can't deny it. And again, that's why he's been atop of the league for the majority of the season. Like
Yeah.
there's no denying what he's done, and he's going to continue to do in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to show his team there?
Sure.
So, um,
If I can find him.
over the
There
over
he
the
is.
month, yeah, over the month he went a still very impressive 47-32 over that period, which is a 595 winning percentage. You take that in this league. You take that.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
his MVP for the month, we're giving it to Juan Soto here. He went 23 for 76, which is a 303 average of 475 on base. Scored 21 runs, 3 doubles, a triple, 4 homers, 7 RBIs, a steal, 25 walks, 13 strikeouts, and an error. I mean, and he missed some time with injury, and like he's still Juan Soto. Now he's playing for a real team. This guy is going to be ridiculous the rest of the year.
Yeah, I can't and like what if Tatis was actually on this team?
Could you imagine?
I can't. I
with
can't.
with Machado and yeah, like uh, I wouldn't want to face them.
Yeah. No, definitely not. And yeah, Soto has done nothing but fill the stat sheet, and his season numbers still don't really look like Juan Soto numbers.
But I mean, I think, and I've heard some experts say this, that he kind of wasn't playing up to his standard because why do that in Washington when you're playing on a sinking ship anyway?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that he's in San Diego, like he's picked it up.
Yeah.
Uh, Joe's least valuable player will be Jeremy Pena. Poor rookie. He went 19 for 100. That's a 190 average, 204 on base. Scored 9 runs, 5 doubles, a homer, 7 RBIs, a steal, 2 walks, 26 strikeouts, and an error. So that's double the amount of strikeouts that Juan Soto's had.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you know, he's a rookie. He's maybe hitting a wall here. I know he was banged up. Also, he missed some time. So
Looks like he's gonna lose some playing time to David Fletcher on Joe's team as well.
yeah, yeah, which is sad considering where Jeremy Pena was and who David Fletcher is. Like you never would have saw that coming. But
Yeah, true.
yeah. Um, for for his Cy Young, yeah, this is interesting. Because Felix Bautista has been just, where did this guy come from? I mean, his birth, so to speak, allowed the Orioles to trade Jorge Lopez to the Twins, like, and he's been fantastic. But I got to give it to Jacob DeGrom because
Okay.
it's Jacob DeGrom, it's Joe,
Okay.
it's the Mets, and it's Jacob DeGrom. I mean, 29 in the third innings, 3-1, 2 homers allowed, 2 walks, 46 strikeouts, a 2.15 ERA, and a .55 WHIP. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I totally get it, and I'm happy for everyone that Jacob DeGrom is back. I'm happy for baseball that Jacob DeGrom is back. I think he's important for the sport.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, honestly, if it were me and I had the final say, especially after playing Joe this past week, like Felix Bautista w was a part of everything the whole week, and
Yeah.
let's just like his last 7 days. He got into 3 games, he won 1 of them, he got 2 saves, he struck out 8, he didn't give up a hit or a walk?
Yeah, that's five perfect innings. That's 5
5
perfect innings
perfect innings, 3 decisions.
with 8 strikeouts.
8 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
And don't get me wrong, like, DeGrom was good in his start,
Yeah,
he was, and Verlander was great in his couple starts, but, like, I lost by 2 saves.
fair, fair. There they are.
There they are. Anyway, I
Well,
digress.
either
Sorry.
one, they could be co-Cy Youngs.
They could be
Uh,
Cy Youngs, yeah.
and yeah, his Cy Young, he's gonna not like this, but Pablo Lopez has not been great.
Mm-mm.
24 innings over the month, a 1-3 record, 3 homers, 7 walks, 18 strikeouts, a 6.75 and a 1.75. I mean, you know, I wouldn't say that's awful, but I know he wants more from Pablo Lopez.
It's definitely regression at not a great time. He's had a couple of blow up starts here.
Yeah, the one against the Mets, back,
Oof.
it's July technically, but that was bad.
Yeah, that was bad, and the one against San Diego was bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, Joe benched him tonight, but I think that's a smart move against the Dodgers. So
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean, even so somehow he does well, like, you can't fault him for doing that.
no, no,
Um, he did make 38 ads for the week, for the month, so that's 10 fewer than the maximum. So he did, he did use some ads. But he knows how to use his ads. He knows how to make moves and pick the guys that he thinks are going to do well. He has a strategy and he sticks by it, and it's worked for him for the entire season. So
yeah,
can't can't blame him.
yeah, absolutely. He used all 12 against me, I believe, this past week.
I'm sure he did. Um, and like you said, he did move down from first to second, and now he is up against the new first place team, Chris Levy. I love being able to talk about these two back to back, and they're playing each other. Like, this is just so, like, perfect synergy.
Yeah, it really is. I can't wait to see. And honestly, because I'm like in the playoff picture right now, I don't even know who I prefer to face at this point if it comes to that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pick your poison.
Yeah, I just hope they both get eliminated and I can, play a 6 seed in in the finals.
That's the strategy.
Yes. Cool. You want to move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So our third place manager now we're going to talk about is Jimmy Dunlap. And let's talk about his past 4 weeks here. Jimmy in week 16 got a win, a tight win over you, 10-9.
Yep.
So that was fun. You really gave him a run for his money there, huh?
I think we're looking at your team.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Oh my God.
I gave
Where
you
are
a run
we?
for
You gave me a run for my money. Here
There
it
we go.
is. Here it is. He did not play you. He
Nope.
played 4 other teams. All right. Um, Oh, 10-9. So he got a 10-9 win over Christian Wood.
Yep.
12-8 win over Ari, which is interesting. That could be a potential preview
Yes.
for a first week playoff picture.
This could too.
And then week 18, he took an 11-10 loss to Ben, which I'm sure Ben would have loved to like come on and talk about that matchup
I'm sure.
specifically. And then he got a big win over Frank, which we'll talk about Frank in a bit, but it almost put an end to Frank's season there.
Yeah, yeah, that's a big win, and it really kind of kept Jimmy in that top three, for the moment. For the moment, because like I said, that spot is still tenuous.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee there.
Yeah, no, not at all. The only guarantee are the first two teams that are the first two teams. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
So overall over the 4 week span, Jimmy goes 45 and 34, which is a 570 winning percentage. Again, if you're at the top of the standings, as Jimmy is in third place, like that works. That's all you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah. Take it.
All right, so let's dive into his players from this past month. All right. So I was going to give it to Christian Walker, the MVP,
Hmm.
but I was looking at his ads, and I don't think Christian Walker has been on his team for very long.
Oh, I think you might be onto that. Let's see. He added him what? Yeah, on the 17th. That's not even half the month.
Yeah.
Um,
So I guess maybe let's find somebody else to award this MVP award.
yeah, and that's tough actually. His offense has not been like a house on fire here.
No,
Um,
it hasn't. I think maybe I would lean towards Semyon just because of how
Simeon,
much filled the
that's
stat sheet.
yeah, yeah.
So if we're gonna go with Simeon, then it's he was 28 for 114, 246 with a 305 on base, 22 runs, two doubles, a triple, 7 home runs, 18 RBIs, a steal, 11 walks, 23 strikeouts, and an error. I feel like that feels a little more right than Christian Walker.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you.
His Cy Yuck, we will give it to Anthony Rizzo here. 16 for 75. 9 runs, 3 doubles, 4 homers, 10 RBIs, 8 walks, 25 strikeouts, a 213 average, and a 298 on base.
Yeah, that's not Rizzo like.
It's
That's,
not, and he's
that's not
he's got
300 on base.
right, and there's a reason why Christian Walker is on this team, and it's because
Yeah,
Anthony Rizzo has not been performing. I mean, you like the power numbers he's put up this season, but
that short porch in right field, but I mean, like Rizzo's always been an on base guy. For him
yeah,
to not be taking walks, like that's not Rizzo.
yeah, he's striking out a lot too. It's a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, as you said, like in general, his offense hasn't been incredible. It they've been okay.
It's been okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been good enough. It's been good enough.
Like you see Kurt like Correa is starting to potentially come into something.
Yeah, I mean the
Uh,
391 on base is very nice.
yeah.
16 walks in 96 at bat. So like, yeah, like he's got some pieces here that could start to get hot. I I, I love MJ Melendez. The fact that a catcher has two outfield uh spots also, like that's just so valuable, I think.
Yeah. It really is. And that guy does get on base a lot. I
Yeah,
also really like Jake McCarthy ad. I don't know
yeah.
how long this guy is going to be on his team. I mean, are you going to keep Teoscar on the bench or is McCutchen going to move to the bench? Like something's got to give here, but this is a fun young player
Yeah.
who can like win you steals any week. All right.
Who got
On
in the
the
pitching?
on the pitching side, we've got a Cy Young of Zach Gallen,
Mm.
who has been kind of otherworldly this month.
And playing on the Diamondbacks, you don't even notice that, but like
No.
here he is. Wow.
There it is. 33 innings, 4-0. He has given up 0 home runs, 9 walks, 37 strikeouts, a .82 WHIP, and a .82 ERA.
Wow.
Pretty
On the
remarkable.
Diamondbacks. Like, how did they not trade this guy? Like,
Yeah, right? Could have gotten a lot for him.
yeah.
Now here's the thing. Jimmy's pitching has been really good. So the only person I really could have pinpointed here was Clay Holmes. And part of it is because he hasn't contributed and hasn't played for Jimmy because he's been hurt. He was just
Right.
activated tonight.
Okay.
But I mean, before he got hurt, he was horrible. Like he was blowing everything. So this 4 innings, 2 losses, a home run, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, a 15.75 ERA, 2.50 WHIP, and over 5 relief appearances. Like that hurts.
Yeah. And, you know, he was hurt. So maybe now maybe, he can go back to being the way he was now that, hopefully he's healthy and, can contribute to Jimmy and hopefully not the Yankees.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, so that is his Cy Young. The number of ads Jimmy used this week over the course of the month was 26. So he was 2 over half. So
Okay.
good
That
for
sounds
him.
about right. Yeah.
And he another one like Joe uses his ads very wisely and doesn't make mistakes with the ads like I did today. Oops. Uh, anyway, standings update on Jimmy. He did
Not a
not
whole lot
move. He did not move at all. So Jimmy was in 3rd place 4 weeks ago. Jimmy is in 3rd place right now. Model of consistency, buddy.
Hey.
And his next matchup, this is actually a really good one. This is with Bobby Russo, who is sitting in the Bob spot, 7th place.
I mean, this is going to be a great matchup. Like, I can't wait to see what it's going to look like on Sunday because, like, Bobby's right there. Like, if he can manage to put a big get a big win together here, he can make things happen here. This is going to be so crazy. These next 2 weeks are going to be so crazy.
Yeah. I like that we've got a 1-2 showdown. We've got a 3-7 showdown this week. Thing that would have made me really happy would be a Ben and Ari showdown this week as well. But
Yeah, that would be cool.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Let's do it.
All right. It's all you.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about you.
All right.
Mike Haber, over the last 4 weeks, starting with week 16,
Oops.
getting that 10-9 victory over me. Yeah, and I'm sad that we never really got to take a deep dive into that
I
because
know.
that was my matchup of the year. Like,
Ooh, I forgot how close all this was. Oh my god.
yeah, like that was the most incredible matchup I've ever been a part of, and for me to walk away with a 10-9 loss, like, I'm cool with that because I think, like, if I remember correctly, it bounced all over the place. Like, I was up like 14-6 one time, and you're up 15-5 or something like that. It was crazy. The whole week was just wild.
It really was. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. After that, you managed to take an 11-9 victory over your brother, so that must have been nice.
Revenge.
And then it gets better, a 17-4 win over your coworker Matt. That must have felt nice too.
Yeah, that was for me, that was I have to win this matchup big. I have no choice. The only way I can give myself a good chance to make the playoffs is by destroying Matt Losi because I knew I had Joe next, and Costas and Ari are not going to be easy matchups either.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you did it. You did exactly what you needed to do. 17 to win over the last place team is what any playoff team needs to do. So,
yeah.
And then we talked about your 10-9 loss to Joe. Again, that's you take that. That's okay.
Yeah.
All told, 47-34 over the month with a 580 winning percentage. Like, nothing really to complain about there.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. Your players for the month. You're starting with your MVP, Eloy Jimenez. Welcome back to the team. 35 for 95. That's a 368. average of 460 on base, 12 runs, 4 doubles, 3 homers, 13 RBIs, 16 walks, 18 strikeouts. Yeah, that's what you want from him.
I'll take it. I will take it.
Uh, but your least valuable player was JD Martinez. Just a 21 for 94, which is a 223 average, 286 on base, 9 runs, 6 doubles, a homer, 11 RBIs, 9 walks, and 29 strikeouts. Eek.
Trivia. When was the last time JD Martinez hit a home run other than yesterday?
Let's
Any
say,
guesses?
did he hit one like on trade deadline day? Was it August 2nd? I don't know. I'm
I
guessing.
don't think he hit one in August. No, because this
Oh,
is last 30 days right here.
oh no, I guess not. So maybe just before. Was it like? Okay, I'm gonna go July 28th.
The answer is I don't know. I don't even
Okay.
have the answer for you because it has been so freaking long. But I do know it was not in the month of August. And here
Wait,
we are on August 29th.
we're gonna find this out because now I want to know. The last time he hit a home run besides yesterday was July 10th.
July 10th.
July 10th against the Yankees. So he's got 2 home runs in like a month and a half.
I mean, honestly, this player is droppable.
He he
If
really
he
is.
wasn't JD Martinez, he would have been off my team a long time ago. But what do you do
Yeah.
with this player? I I play him when Eloy, stubs a toe, but other than that, like he's gonna ride the bench for me until I need him as a fill-in player only. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, that's not what you were hoping for.
No, no. It's okay. I traded Chris Sale for him, so fine.
Yeah, and well, we don't just talk about him. uh, you're so young. Yeah, baby. Chris Bassett. I like it. 33 in the third innings pitch. 4-0 with 5 homers given up. No, 5 walks given up. No home runs. 22 strikeouts, a 1.62 ERA, and a 1.14 WHIP. Yeah, he's been so solid. Just what the Mets needed, and just what I'm sure you were looking forward to.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Carried my
Uh,
team.
yeah, and your Cy Young, well, we mentioned him, Gregory Soto. Not good. 11 and 2/3 innings over 12 appearances. 0 and 2, 4 saves, but a homer, 7 walks, 7 strikeouts, a 6.94 and a 1.63. I mean, the 4 saves obviously is nice, but it's come at a high cost.
Yeah, 12 relief appearances with an ERA of 7.
Yeah,
That's not good. And
that's like
his strikeout to walk ratio is usually awesome.
yeah, and here it's 1-1. Like that's not good.
Yeah. I mean, he's still putting together a solid season, but like over the course of the past month, you see it just dwindling, which is why I added Joe Jimenez because I don't know if this is going to keep going downhill.
Yeah, he just grabbed a save last night, right? So
Yeah.
like yeah. Um yeah, all told you made 25 ads over the month. Um so just about half of the possible. Um I mean, how are you feeling?
I feel solid. I really do. I went into the matchup with Joe saying I can't get blown out. That's it. Like keep it close. Focus on the stats that I can control. I have an offense heavy team and I needed to win those offensive categories and I took 9 of them. And I lost 10-9. So I didn't win any pitching categories, but it's okay. I know where my strengths are. I knew I had to win
Yep.
not as many hitting categories as I could to keep it close with Joe. If I didn't get blown out, I felt really good about my chances to at least make the playoffs. I don't know in what seed yet. I think I'm the 7th place team is like 12 something games behind me, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so 11 and
Yeah.
a half games back. So like it's some buffer. It's not a lot, but I could take 2 losses and still make the playoffs, but like, you know, I have
Well,
I don't know.
You're up against Costas this week, so how you feeling about Costas here?
Well, right now I'm playing the St. Louis Cardinals because he has 85 of them on his team. But other than that,
Yeah,
um, I feel like I match up pretty well against him. Um, but anything can happen. Anything can happen any week. He has Cedric Mullins, who absolutely historically destroys me. Um, he has a guy named Stone Garrett, so that's cool.
that's you're gonna get stoned.
I'm gonna get stoned. I am. I don't recognize a lot of his offensive players, but you know what? It's a team like this that usually like figures out some way to beat me.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I feel good, but who knows?
You've moved up over the month. You moved up from sixth to fourth. So like, and even before that, like I remember you kind of, I mean, you've been inching and crawling the whole season, right? You were like down in the 12s and the 11s at one point, and like here you are in fourth place. Like that's a place to be.
Well, look at so my first, I mean, yeah, the first 5 weeks I went 1-4,
Yeah.
and then I only won once after that, and then week 9 hit, and after week 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. So
Yeah, so you've really turned it on over the last half of the season.
yeah, it's necessary. And losing to Joe was my first loss since week 10. So
And you like, yeah, again, like you lost, but like you can consider that a small victory, you know.
yeah.
You
Oh
know.
yeah. That is a good point. That is a good point. All right. Should we move
Let's
on
go
to
to
our
number 4.
commissioner?
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna move on to Goodness Gritchick. You scared me.
Ah,
Ah. And let's talk about Ben's last 4 weeks, which, like I said, I would love to have him on here, but I'm not sure he would love to be on here talking about some of his matchups the past 4 weeks. So Ben has actually gone 1-3 past 4 weeks. He takes in week 16 a 10-9 loss to McCloskey. Week 17 a 14-4 blowout loss to Christian
mm.
Wood. He did get back in the win column, taking down Jimmy Dunlap in an exciting 11-10 victory. And then the following week, flip flops and takes an 11-10 loss to Bobby Rousseau.
And you know
Um,
what? I feel like that loss to Christian, like he put that in the universe because he took that a 15-5 win in week 2 over him, and he kept saying how he didn't deserve it, and he's gonna face him again, and the tides are gonna turn. Things are, it's gonna be right, and it was exactly what he said was gonna happen. Happened.
he's 19-19 against Christian this season.
Yeah, it's
It
crazy.
is crazy. Um, over the course of the 4 weeks, and I'm sure Ben is disappointed about this, but he has a 430 winning percentage. He's 34-45. Um, it's not what you want going into the stretch run. He still holds a playoff spot, but his brother right now is on his tail.
Hmm.
Um, and he's only, Bobby's four games back of Ben
Yeah.
right now. So like he is by no means a guarantee for a playoff spot.
No, no, and again, like you said, like yeah, he's had a rough month and he's still in there, but so he should be counting his lucky stars that he's still in there. But
He
yeah, that
finished,
that that grip is really really loose right now.
I mean, he finishes the season with you and then with Josh. He's probably playing Josh at a good time because I think, yeah, we'll talk about Josh in a little bit, but he's been
Yeah,
trending sort of down. Um, I don't think he's playing you at a good time, Jason. I think that you are in a position to really do some damage this week.
it's gonna be an interesting week for me because like, and we'll get to it, but like I don't feel like I have many moves to make. So like I feel like this is the team I'm gonna roll with for the most part, and we're gonna see how it works.
I mean, that's got to be a good feeling, though, right?
Yeah, yeah, and we'll see. I'm totally not gonna do Ben any favors. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about some of his players. So Ben, over the past month, we're gonna give MVP to Randall Grichuk. And
Goodness,
oh,
Gritchick.
goodness, Grichuk, you scared me. Yeah, that is the name of his team. 34 for 98. He was a 347 average, a 385 on base, 13 runs, 4 doubles, a triple, 4 homers, 14 RBIs, 3 walks, 22 strikeouts, and 3 errors. I remember when I played Ben, Grichuk and Blackman were like
Yeah,
unstoppable together.
yeah,
I think it's like when the two of them are in cores, and now he added Jose Iglesias to this little Colorado mix thing here. Um, but yeah, that could be a destructive trio if they're
yeah,
playing their games in cores. It's all players that can like get hot.
yeah, and especially there, that anything can happen there.
Yeah. His least valuable player is we will talk about JP Crawford, who had a 212 average, a 303 on base, 6 runs, 2 doubles, 7 RBIs, 12 walks, 9 strikeouts, and 2 errors. For a catalyst in Seattle in that lineup, for him to score 6 runs and not do anything on the base paths and provide you with no power, and I mean
Barely on base.
barely on
Like,
base, like it's a problem. And I don't know if Kiner Falefa's the answer, but I'm not sure what Ben's ultimate plan at shortstop is moving forward.
yeah, I mean, maybe it's Jose Iglesias. I don't know.
Maybe it is. Maybe Jose has earned himself some
I
full
also
time.
like look at the size of that bench. Like,
He has 2 teams.
yeah, I mean, granted, he's got catcher on first base empty right now, but even still, like that is a lot of movement pieces.
Yes, it is. And I do think some of these players will not be on his team tomorrow. I know that Ben does like to fill a lineup
Yeah,
on a Monday, so I could see him dropping Jake Fraley and Tapia and Wade, but still, I mean,
it's
it's a
still
lot of
just a
players.
lot. Yeah, that's just wow.
So, Jason, we've talked about 2 Cy Youngs, and they've both been Mets. Let's talk about a third Cy Young, who
Okay.
also happens to be a Met. We're going to talk about Max Scherzer, 40 and 2/3 innings. So, like, workhorse. You could see it
Yep.
right there, 40 and 2/3. 3 wins, 2 losses, 2 home runs, 7 walks, 44 strikeouts, a 2.66 ERA, and a .98 whip. We've talked
Yeah.
about DeGrom, Bassett, and Scherzer now back to back to back as Cy Youngs for the month.
And that's I mean, look, not to talk, talk Mets, but like that's what the Mets were looking for, and that's what's keeping them where they are, is having these three horses in that stable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just sucks. Like, Scherzer should not have gotten a loss yesterday. Like that was embarrassing to get shut out by the Rockies, like 1-0.
Yeah.
It was just like, but look
Tough luck.
for Scherzer, like it was just another gritty Scherzer performance, and so Ben's reaping those benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely well worth the high draft pick. Um, his Cy Yuck, we are going to talk about, who actually has been great for him all season, but over the course of the past month or so, Miles Michaelis has fallen off a little bit. 31 and 2/3 innings, 2 wins, 2 losses, 4 homers, 3 walks, 21 strikeouts, a 5.40 ERA, and a 1.17 WHIP. It's okay, but when you have as few starting pitchers as Ben has, and right now he only has 2 on this roster, um, you need both of them to perform at a high level. Um, I mean, you have one of them as your Cy Young and one as your Cy Yuck, and that's it. Like no more pitchers.
That's it. I mean, he will be getting Kershaw back this week, so that'll be a help. So I'll give him 3. Um, you know, yeah,
I mean,
that's.
they're gonna have a 6-man rotation though.
I wonder if that's going to change now with Gonsolin on
With
the IL
Gonsolin
though.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna play that. It'd be interesting to see, but so he'll get Kershaw back. He'll have his two aces. Um,
Two aces. He'll have his closers.
yeah,
Jonathan Hernandez was an amazing find for Ben.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if Craig Kimbrell is even a guarantee to hold on to that role with Blake Trinan coming back. I don't know, but we'll see.
It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, and
Yeah. So Ben, his ads in the past month, this guy was only 6 ads away from reaching the maximum. So 42 ads for Ben,
nicely
um,
done.
which I do want to say is not the most in our league. Not even close, I don't think, to the most in our league over the past month.
Okay,
But
okay.
42 is awfully close.
Yeah,
And Ben's standings, he went from fourth to fifth. We essentially kind of switched
yeah.
flip-flop places a little bit. Um, like we said earlier, he's still in it. But he's got some fighting and some grit, some hard-nosed grit to do
It's
against
gonna
you.
be it's gonna be interesting to see how he does because man, if he falls out of it, he is not gonna be a happy camper.
No, he's not. We will not see him on a show for a while if he falls out.
No, no. He'll come back looking like a caveman.
Or he'll come back and yell at me like he did last time. Anyway, I love you, Ben. You know that. Um, shall we move on to our number 6 seed?
Yeah, from one Nisman to the other Nisman.
Let's do it.
Uh, yeah, let's go over Ari. So Ari, over the last month, week 16, he took a 12-8 win over Costas, followed by a 12 loss to Jimmy Dunlap, and then a 12-8 win over Frank, and then a big 14-6 win over Brian Lebo, and that uh, certainly ended Brian Lebo's season if it wasn't already over, and really propelled Ari into a playoff spot at this point. Like who like who had this coming? Like good for Ari. Good for Ari. I love seeing it. Like Joe has said, this league is better when Ari is winning, and he's winning. He's winning a
Winning.
lot.
And it's such a different strategy than any other manager in the league. And he's
I
proven
mean,
that it still sometimes works.
just to skip ahead, like he used 10 ads this month. 10.
10. You know how many
10.
he's used all season? 30.
30. 30. But here he is in a playoff spot. So
Yeah.
you know what? Good for you, Ari. He went 46 and 34 as a 575 winning percentage over the month, and it was enough. It's enough to get him into the sixth seed. So let's look at who got him there. His MVP for the month is going to be JT Realmuto, who went 30 for 89. That's a 337 average with 385 on base. 16 runs, 8 doubles, 3 triples, 5 homers, 20 RBIs, 3 steals, 5 walks, 22 strikeouts, and an error. If that's not a box score stuffer, I don't know what is. I mean, 3 triples and 3 steals from your catcher.
That could be like a league MVP of the month. Like,
Yeah,
that's absurd for a catcher.
and he hasn't had like a great season. Like it hasn't been Realmuto like, um, but it's been enough. It's been enough for the Phillies, and it's been plenty for Ari.
Yeah.
Um, his least valuable player is going to be Brandon Lau, who I know missed a little bit of time, but he went 15 for 64 with that's a 234 average with a 347 on base, 6 runs, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 11 RBIs, 10 walks, 14 strikeouts, and 2 errors. And yeah, he missed time. I don't remember exactly when he came back from his original injury, but I think it was earlier this month. And then yeah, he had an elbow contusion, and he's had a couple other just things here and there. So tough break.
Yeah.
Over on his pitching side, his Cy Young is Aaron Nola. Shame on me because I picked this guy to have a bust year. 34 innings, 3 wins, 2 losses, a homer, 4 walks, 41 strikeouts, 2.12 ERA, and a .97 WHIP. Yeah, that's the young caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his Cy Young, man. Sorry for you for this, but Frankie Montas, not good since coming over to the Bombers. 19 and 2/3, a loss. So 0-1, 2 homers given up, 7 walks, 14 strikeouts, a 7.32 ERA, and a 1.58 WHIP. Um, he had a really good start against the Mets, but otherwise he hasn't really been that terrific since coming over from Oakland.
No, he is not. And Montgomery's been great in St. Louis. We knew this was going to happen, though. It's what happens when you trade pitchers. New York pitchers get traded to different teams. It's what happens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Trust me, no one knows that more than the Mets.
I know.
Yeah, this is an interesting team. Again, like no relief pitchers. It's all empty. There's not a single person. Andrew Heaney is the only, and he's not a reliever. So there you go.
Yeah. This is there was a time where he had like Brad Hand on his team.
Yep. And that didn't last.
That didn't last very long. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's a scary pitching staff.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Nola and Garrett Cole, like George Kirby has been solid. Like, if he gets Nestor Cortez back, like, yeah. That's look, this could be enough to at least like keep him in that playoff spot.
It could, and his offense. I mean, I don't think that this team has had a crazy month offensively. Like we mentioned, Jimmy's was kind of like in the middle, and I think this team as well. We've seen Alonso come back down to earth a bit recently. He still has good numbers, but it's not like MVP-ish type numbers. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous, actually. The 31 and 105.
I mean, he would be MVP-ish if it wasn't for Paul Goldschmidt, but he's getting a lot of more base hits lately but like he hits his home runs when they need him to. So like, he is the epitome of MVP. It's just that guy in St. Louis is holding him back.
Yeah.
But look, he's held on to Stephen Kwan, right? This kid's been like good enough. He's making it work with what he's got without making hardly any moves. And it's working.
Yeah, I mean, but his regular third baseman is a toss-up between Wilmer Flores and Emmanuel Rivera.
Yeah,
great. It's working.
It's working. I mean, Emmanuel Rivera has 33 RBIs over the month, playing in Arizona, like where
that's the season. Sorry.
Oh,
but still
okay. So he's got 11 RBIs over the month playing in Arizona, like 5 home runs, 5 doubles. Like that's who would have thought that coming? Like,
yeah, it's true. No, it's a solid team.
This hot stretch here has moved him from 10th place to 6th place over the last month. So that's like essentially moving up a standing place each week, which is great. He's facing Mike Sherman this week. That should be a good matchup. Probably a slam dunk, I would think. I mean, he should walk away with a pretty good win here and really kind of solidify himself in being in the playoffs after being nowhere near the playoffs a month or two ago,
Yeah. And then he and I face off in the final week.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. So that'll be a good one. All right.
I'm looking forward to that.
Let's move on.
Let's move it.
Let's move along. So we're going to move on to our number 7 seed, which is Bobby Russo. Where am I right now? Oh, here I am. Standings. Bobby Russo, place your bets in the Bob spot once again.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about his last 4 weeks here. So Bobby goes 2-2 in his last 4 weeks. Week 16, he takes a 12-7 loss to Chris Levy. Week 17, a 12-6 loss to James McCloskey. Week 18, 12-8 win over Christian Wood. And week 19, we mentioned before, the 11-10 edging over our commissioner, Ben Nisman. In total, Bobby Russo, over the course of the last month, had a 36-42 record. So that's a 462 winning percentage. When we talk about Bobby, usually in this league, we talk about the Bob spot. We talk about him being in 7th, kind of like outside looking in with like a 500 winning percentage usually. And this is not too far off from that. Like he won 2 weeks, he lost 2 weeks. He, that
This is the epitome of Bobby Russo. Like
it is. It is.
yeah, like and
Um,
it's like, but like it hasn't been enough to like knock him completely out of it.
it
But
hasn't.
he's currently not in it.
He's not, and he always looks like he's like right there. He's right on the verge. He's right now. He's 4 games under 500 with a 495 winning percentage. Like it doesn't get more stereotypical than that.
Like that's as Bobby as it gets.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, does he have what it takes to make that final push over these last 2 weeks? And we'll just have to see what his next 2 matchups look like. But
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, let's dive into his players here. So over the past month, we are going to definitely give his MVP to a man named Mookie Betts, 35 for 111. That's a 315 average and a 358 on base, 28 runs, 10 doubles, a triple, 8 homers, 17 RBIs, 5 steals, 6 walks, 18 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Doing
That's another box score stuffer.
Yeah. This is a guy I picked for MVP at the beginning of the year. He's not going to win MVP, but he's having a great season.
Yeah. And, the 69 RBIs, but he's batting leadoff for the Dodgers, so he's scoring all the runs. He's not driving in the runs. So
right.
But yeah, it's been a great year for him.
Yeah, 99 runs scored this year.
Yeah. So he's definitely putting up MVP caliber numbers. It's just there's a lot of competition for that.
Yeah.
On his own team, nonetheless.
On his own team, and that damn guy in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
So the least valuable player, which I'm only mentioning him, he hasn't really gotten into Bobby's lineup a lot. I'm just not sure why he's on this team. Eduardo Escobar is, over the past month, has gone 4 for 31 with 1 run scored, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and an error. That's a 129 average and a 182 on base. Look, he's 3 position eligible. I get it. You don't want to let go of that on a great team. That being said, this guy is on the bench every night.
He was out. He was hurt for he missed a week or so. But he is losing time. He's losing playing time. He was losing playing time to Luis Guillorme. Now he's losing playing time to Brett Baty. He's become a bench guy. If Brett Baty shows that he doesn't belong in the big leagues, so far he's been a little suspect. So maybe Escobar reclaims some of that playing time until Guillorme gets back. But yeah, he hasn't been great.
Yeah. And I mean, we talked earlier about how Ben has like 2 lineups on his team. Bobby kind of has the opposite here. Like he has just enough players to make a lineup work.
Yeah.
But, we see it here with Jarren Duran. Once he was sent down, an option down, he could no longer play Mookie Betts at second base. So, like, you have to depend on Tommy Edman every night. And, like, I don't know why Tommy Edman's not in the lineup right now, or Wilson Contreras. But
yeah,
that's a little bizarre. But, again, you have no wiggle room. So maybe that's why he's holding on to Escobar, is to give him that tiniest bit of, like, flexibility if he needs it. But
yeah, because also you're relying on Javier Baez and Ke'Bryan Hayes. They haven't been, much of anything either. So it's, whoever you go with the hot hand at that point, I guess.
Yeah. And you know what? Josh Bell has kind of fallen off ever since he got to San Diego as well.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
It's like the opposite effect that it had on Soto. Um, all right, Cy Young. Typically, we give this to a starter, but I could not ignore Emmanuel Clase's month. 11 and a third innings. He does have one loss, but 8 saves, 13 strikeouts, a .79 ERA, a .44 WHIP, 13 relief appearances. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
No, that's filthy.
It's filthy. And I'm gonna give the Cy Young to another reliever. We're gonna give it to Jake Diekman. 8 and 2/3 innings, 2 losses, 2 home runs, 9 walks, 14 strikeouts, 6.23 ERA at 2.19, WHIP, 13 relief appearances. This guy has walked more players than Sandy Alcantara, a starting pitcher, walked more than Brandon Woodruff, a starting pitcher. Jake Diekman
Yeah,
is bad. I had him on my team for a chunk of this season, and he's bad.
I mean, he couldn't cut it with the Red Sox. Like,
And the White Sox have a good bullpen, so I don't even think you really need this guy, but
no.
um so yeah, I mean we can kind of see here why Bobby's team is where it is. Like we talked about
Yeah,
some of the holes here, right?
it's a very okay team.
It is. And like don't get me wrong, like Alcantara and Woodruff as like a 1-2 head of the
Yep.
monster is scary. Clase is excellent. But after those three pitchers, you've got I don't know what.
Yeah. I mean, Patrick Sandoval is okay. Uh, and then it really just
Okay.
dives off a cliff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know.
And
And he's not playing as he's maybe he's not on top of it tonight for some reason,
yeah,
or maybe
and it's a shame he's not. Cause I'm looking at it right now. Edmund and Contreras are combined 4 for 8 with
oh
1 run, 3 doubles, 3 RBIs. Like, and
yikes.
and I mean, there's empty spots on the lineup. So I don't know what
Catcher
happened
in
there.
second.
Yeah, I don't
Ooh.
know what happened.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, that's a shame.
All right. Let's move on to sorry, just to put a bow on Bobby, he used 14 of his 48 ads, which is not a lot at all.
No, it's
Um,
not.
So that's the yeah. He has gone from fifth place to seventh place throughout the past 4 weeks. So he has dropped 2 spots in the standings. And here he is sitting at seventh. And he's got Jimmy Dunlap this week. So it's not gonna get any easier here. Jimmy Dunlap, and then you.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just it. Is like here he is. He went 2-2, over these last 4 weeks, and but meanwhile, you've moved up. Ari's moved up, like, and now he's sitting in the Bob spot, and he's leaving guys on the bench on Monday. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, that's rough. That's really
yeah,
really rough.
it is. It is. All right. Let's
All
move
right.
on to number 8.
Yes, that would be Christian Wood. In week 16, he took a 10-9 loss to Jimmy, which is still, pretty impressive. Then he took the aforementioned 14-4 win over our commissioner, Ben Nisman. Sorry, Ben. Week 18, a 12-8 loss to Bobby, and then last week he beat me, or I beat him 11-5. That was an intense matchup too. That kept going back and forth all week long. That was a crazy, crazy matchup.
I looked at it at one point and he was like destroying you, and I was like,
He was
I think
he
it was
was up
like
like
Thursday or
14-6. He was up
Friday.
14-6 at one point, 14-5 even. Yeah, he was beating the crap out of me, and it just I saw it and I made some moves, and I mean 11-5. We had a lot of ties. We had a lot of ties
Yeah.
this week. Um, Yeah, it was wild. Um, all told for the month, he went 36-37, so just under 500 at a 493 winning percentage. Look again, he's he was up at the top at the beginning of the season, and we know how he's kind of fallen off the last few weeks, but he's still hanging in there, and
Yeah.
he's still right there. One good win and a bad loss for somebody else. He can get in there still.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Um, let's take a look at his players. So his MVP is gonna hurt. That was Nolan Arenado. I sent him Nolan Arenado for Christian Walker, or for Jared Walsh rather, and Jared Walsh now has thoracic outlet syndrome, and that sucks.
Yeah.
So Nolan Arenado went 35 for 100. That's a 350 average, a 411 on base, 19 runs, 10 doubles, 9 homers, 26 RBIs, a steal, 8 walks, 13 strikeouts, 2 errors, and a new baby
There you
boy.
go.
Yeah, Arenado, like he, like I feel like maybe if there's any way that Goldschmidt doesn't get the MVP, it's because of Nolan Arenado. Like he's having a magnificent season, and I absolutely regret trading him. Yeah,
Let me see these.
enough on that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, his least valuable player is gonna be Chris Taylor. 12 for 61. That's a 197 with a 275 on base, 6 runs scored, 4 doubles, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, 2 steals, 7 walks, and 27 strikeouts. That's not good.
No, it's not what you traded for.
No, and I know he's got lots of, a lot of positions, a lot of eligibility, but if he's not hitting, you're not playing
Yeah,
him.
who cares? Yeah.
Yeah. On the pitching side, his Cy Young is going to be Shane Bieber. Over 33 and a third innings, 3-1 with a homer, 4 walks, 35 strikeouts, a 1.62 ERA, and a .9 WHIP. Yeah, that's why the Guardians are where they are in the standings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
His Cy Young, this is tough because he's had a lot of good pitching.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna go with Dakota Hudson here, 24 in 2/3 innings, 1-0 record, 1 homer allowed, 13 walks, 17 strikeouts, a 4.74 and 1.54 WHIP. I mean, he hasn't been great, so the 13 walks, 17 strikeouts is not a good ratio. He had that good start against the Cubs last week, so that helped, but he really has been mediocre at best.
Yeah, a lot of walks in here.
Yeah, and not a lot of innings.
Yeah.
So the fact that he went 7 innings was a shocker because he hadn't gone 6 all year. So that was pretty amazing. But again, this was a tough matchup this week for me, and I'm happy to get out with a win. As weird of a win as it was.
And I feel like Bryce Harper came back, but he came back the tail end of this matchup, right?
Yeah, I really thought I was gonna miss him. I was because he wasn't supposed to come back until this week, and they moved him up. So I was really banking on not seeing him at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came back and didn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So I mean, it got hit each game, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It was like Adolis Garcia stealing bases and David Josh Naylor stole a base, and it was just things like that was just aggravating.
Josh Naylor has 3 stolen bases this month. Get out.
Yeah, you're right. What's he doing stealing bases? So that was a little aggravating. But look, again, he's still right in the thick of it. He made 32 ads over the course of the month, so that's a pretty good amount. It's not too many. It's not none. And now he's facing your brother. And like you said, this is probably the time to be facing him because he is on this downward trend. We'll get to him in a little bit, but he sits right outside the playoffs here. So
yeah,
I'm not ready to count him out.
No, No, I'm not ready to count him out yet either. And got to give him a ton of credit for what he's done as a rookie and to still be in the mix and in the fight, in the hunt right now with 2 weeks left to go. It's really impressive. So he should be
Yeah.
proud.
Like I said, hit the nail on the head. He's a rookie. I mean, a rookie sitting right here in the middle of all of these hungry veterans is really really impressive.
Yeah, he is the Julio Rodriguez of our league.
Yes, he is absolutely.
All
Um,
right.
he did move up. He went from ninth to eighth over this stretch. So
Right.
he is still trending the right way. Let's see if he can keep it going.
All right. Sounds good. Let's move on to number 9, which is Frank Bucco. Let's bring up his schedule here. So Frank, over the course of the past month, went 1-3. Week 16, he took a 13-7 loss to Joe. Week 17, he whooped Costas 15-5. Week 18, a 12-8 loss to Ari, and week 19, a 13-6 loss to Jimmy, that's not when you want to take a double up loss in week
No,
19 of the bigs.
that's probably the stake in the season. Maybe it's hard to count him out, but there's a lot of
Hard
teams
to
ahead of
count.
him.
Yeah, there's a lot to hurdle here.
Yeah,
Um,
2 weeks.
2 weeks to go. He's got the schedule to do it. If he can put a whooping on Brian Lebo and Mike Sherman.
But the problem is that he needs teams above him to get whooped also, and it's just there's just a lot of teams to hurdle over. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. But when it counted the most, and this month that we're talking about, this month of time is when it counts the most in our league. This is the stretch run, and it going 1-3 is not the answer.
I mean, yeah, the 15-5 win over Costas is nice, but it really didn't do anything for him.
No.
And it that did the loss to Jimmy did more than the win to over Costas did.
Oh,
So
definitely. In total, a 36-43 record, which is a 456 winning percentage, and no, you gotta get above 500 somehow.
yeah,
And he couldn't do it. So let's take a look at his players here. What's his team? That's his team.
yeah.
All right, his MVP, we're going to award it to a man named Andres Jimenez, who went 29 for 90, a 322 average, a 386 on base, 13 runs, 7 doubles, 4 homers, 14 RBI, 7 steals, 7 walks, and 18 strikeouts. That's
It's
pretty
solid.
impressive.
I've been watching this kid, and I had him for a spot for a period in the season, and I wish I didn't have to let him go, but he's been really really good.
He has, and there was a time when Frank was trying to ship this guy off, and
Yeah,
I'm glad he held on to him because it's a huge piece for him here.
he's really his shortstop at this point.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, he's got to be.
Yeah.
His least valuable player. Oh, I'm so happy you gave it to this guy. We're gonna go with
I figured you would
Jurickson
be.
Profar. Because honestly, all things considered, like Logan Gilbert has not been very good for me. But I'm just glad to see Profar is also not good for Frank right now. 27 for 112, which is a 241 average, a 320 on base, 14 runs, 6 doubles, 3 homers, 8 RBIs, 1 stolen base, 12 walks, 21 strikeouts, and an error. I think he lost his leadoff spot too.
Yeah.
With the
Um.
acquisition of Soto and Bell.
Yeah. And Hassan Kim has been hitting, so I think he's moved up to the leadoff sometimes. And
He has,
um,
yeah.
yeah, I was tempted to give it to Ian Happ because of the 34 strikeouts and the 304 on base, but he is producing runs, so like
He
that's
is.
something. I feel like
He is.
Profar just hasn't done anything.
No. And again, you said it before, but you can be as eligible as you want, but if you're not hitting, you're not hitting.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, pitching wise, we're gonna give the Cy Young to Dylan Cease. Where is he? Here he is, 36 and a third inning, 2 wins, 2 losses, 6 home runs, 13 walks, 36 strikeouts, 2.97 ERA, and a .91 WHIP, which isn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's the namesake of the team.
Yeah,
Um,
yes, it is.
um,
Um,
I think he's got some interesting pieces here, but there was just nobody that really stood out to me more than Dylan Cease did.
yeah, yeah. Our Cy Yuck, we're gonna go with Corbin Burns on this, which is very interesting. 27
Yeah,
and 2/3, a win, 2 losses, 3 homers, 11 walks, which is uncharacteristic, 30 strikeouts, a 5.20 ERA, and a 1.16 WHIP. What'd you see
I
here
mean,
with this guy?
yeah, I mean the strikeouts are nice, obviously, but yeah, it's been a weird stretch for Corbin Burns. I mean, he got beat up by the Dodgers, and like you said, he's walking guys. Um, it's just I don't know. It's just been a weird stretch, but also like Frank's pitching hasn't been bad. So like, if Corbin Burns is your worst pitcher, like that's I guess that's okay. Um,
I guess, yeah.
I mean, I mean Cole Irvin has been good. He doesn't have the wins because he plays on a shitty team, but like
Yeah.
he's been all right.
Yeah.
Um, Yu Darvish has been good.
Just got
Dustin May's
Dustin
back,
back.
so like
Yeah.
McCullers is
McCullers.
back.
Yep.
Like so he's had some good pitching. It's just yeah, I don't know I don't know what happened to him over these last 4 weeks, but
I want to give a shout out to James Karinchak as well with his 12 and a third innings, a win, 6 walks,
yes.
23 strikeouts, and nothing earned. Like this is the man who we thought who we were gonna see last year, when he was on my team, and here he is.
And he's also he's bounced around the league this year
Yeah.
because like he's not closing, so he's just a middle relief guy. But now he's on Frank's team, and you know, yeah, I mean he's been all over the map this year, like
Yeah,
and so far who's owned him,
he has.
and
He has.
now he's got a home.
Uh, but I'll say it again, like I do think this bullpen has been Frank's weakness the entire season. I don't know if I want to point a finger at like if he doesn't make the playoffs, I don't know if it's as easy to say like that's why, but I think that's a major contributor to like any issues that he's had this year. It's like no bullpen. I don't know. Just goes to show what our league is.
Yeah,
But Ari has sort of dodged that bullet. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's an enigma. So, the ads, Frank used 27 ads over the past month.
okay.
Over the 4 weeks, he dropped from 8th to 9th place in the standings. So not a ton of movement, but still moving in the direction you don't want to be moving.
Yeah,
Like you said, right now he is 7.5 out of a playoff spot.
yeah. I mean he's almost closer to being like out of the consolation bracket than he is to the playoffs at this point. You know,
That is true.
like
That
he's
is
pretty close
true.
to the bottom of the consolation bracket there. So
Yep,
he's
3 games
got
back of yeah, McCloskey there.
he's, he's got some work to do with 2 weeks left.
He does. And like we said before, I mean, he's got the matchups to do it. He's got Brian Lebo this week and Mike Sherman next week. So we'll see if Frank can dig himself out of this. I just don't know if it's too late.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, let's move on to number 10.
Yeah, and this is your brother, and man, this is tough. This is tough to see because he was doing so well all year long, and now he's in this rough stretch here. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, he's piled up the losses, um, including all four this month, starting with a 12-8 loss to Mike Sherman in week 16, 11-9 loss to you in week 17, a big 14-5 loss to Chris Levy in week 18, and then he lost to James McCloskey last week 10-8. Yeah, I mean, have you heard from him? Like, how's he doing?
I don't. I mean, he's traveling a lot for work, but I think that he has accepted his fate this season,
Mm,
which has probably caused him to not work as hard as he did in the beginning of the year.
sure, sure. Uh, all that told is a 30-47 record over the month, which is a 390 winning percentage.
Mm,
Not good, not good. Um, we'll take a look at his players. I did give his MVP to George Springer, who has missed some time with
where is
injuries.
there it is. Uh-huh.
Uh, but when he's played, man, he's 20 for 47. That's a 426 and a 500 on base, 9 runs, 3 doubles, a triple, a homer, 10 RBIs, a steal, 7 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Like,
Mhm.
it's not a big sample size with only 47 at bats, but per at bat, that's as good as you can ask for.
Yeah,
Like when he's
absolutely.
on the field, he is producing.
Yeah.
Um, I will give the shout out to Machado with his 321 and 379 with 25 RBIs. Um, and Alex Verdugo also with a 330 and 391 with 14 runs and 11 doubles. But I couldn't ignore what George Springer is doing.
F that guy. F Alex Verdugo.
Absolutely. How about this guy? How about his least valuable player, Gleyber Torres? That's got to feel pretty nice
That
so,
does feel
in
great.
some ways. Um, yeah, 18 for 102. That's a 176 average with a 200 on base. 9 runs, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, a steal, 3 walks, and 35 strikeouts.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. You traded him to your brother, and then but also he's a Yankee, so like that's gotta be like a double-edged sword there. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm glad he's off my team, but I'd rather him be producing right now.
I hear you. Uh, another one close to your heart. We'll go to his pitching and his Cy Young. We're gonna talk about Adam Wainwright. 39 and 2/3 innings, 2-1 record, a homer, 9 walks, 31 strikeouts, a 250 ERA, and a 106 WHIP. Um, I think he's been by far his best pitcher, uh, probably of the season.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, Freddie Peralta has been good since he came back, but uh,
Mm.
Wainwright has just been. I mean, if this is his swan song, this is a as good of a swan song as you could ask for.
I mean, I said it last year, like, if this is his swan song, it's amazing. Like, who I don't know, is he Tom Brady? He could do it again next season.
Right? All three of them. I mean, Albert's having a great year. You
Yeah.
know, bring him up back one more time.
Yeah.
For his Cy Yuck, I am going to give it to a reliever. I'm giving it to Dylan Floro. 8 innings, 0-2 with a save, 2 homers, 4 walks, 12 strikeouts, a 5.63 ERA, and a 2 WHIP over 9 relief appearances. Yeah, that's not really good.
No, it's not.
Um, yeah, and it's been it's been just a weird year for this group. I mean, Lucas Giolito is 4-1, but he's got a 5.13 ERA over that stretch. Like, okay, I mean, he got destroyed by Houston. He got beat up by Detroit. Like,
He's got an ERA over 5 for the season.
yeah, like that's not what we were expecting from this guy. Like,
No.
he was supposed to be the ace of this team, of the staff, and he's just been, a number 4.
Yeah, at best. And
Yeah.
Josh had a lot of faith in this guy and a lot riding on this guy and said,
Yeah.
like, my second half is gonna depend on this pitcher, and he's right.
Yeah.
Tailspin.
And the showing. I mean, look, Blake Treinen's coming back, so maybe that'll be something for him. But at this point, I think it's a little too late.
Yeah. Yes, it
Uh,
is.
he did use 24 ads this week, so um,
Half.
you know, yeah, not a ton, but not none.
Okay.
Um, he dropped from all the way from 7th to 10th
Oh,
over this rough stretch. Yeah, and to the point now where he's just battling to stay in the consolation bracket at this point. Um, he
damn.
gets Christian Wood this week, and I don't know who his last week is against.
His last
Uh,
week was against Ben.
oh, he's been well, yeah.
He's got to play
That's
spoiler then.
yeah, that's a rough 2 weeks there. Um, and he could spoil both of those teams, but the way he's trending, it's not looking pretty.
Yeah, it's been a rough 2 months for Josh. He only
Yeah,
got one win in the past 2 months, and it was a 10-9 win over.
yeah. I mean, really, I mean, look at it. Like on the whole, what he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. Well, yeah. See, he started off 3 wins in a row, and it kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah, and those weren't just like little wins; those were big wins, and we were like, we're gonna see a big season from this guy, and nope,
No, no, he lost all that.
he did, he did. But he did play well at the beginning. He proved that he can compete with all the other managers in this league. He
Absolutely.
just he just has to sustain it, and he did last year, and he made the playoffs, so he can do it again.
Yeah,
Um, I'm sure that he's learned a lot, and will come back ready to get some redemption next year.
agreed.
All right, moving on.
Let's turn it over.
All right. So we are going to talk about my opponent this week, Costas Paragas. And over the course of the last 4 weeks, he went 2-2. He lost to Ari in week 16, 12-8. Lost big to Frank 15-5 in week 17. He beat Brian Lebo big 14-6 in week 18, and then doubled up Mike Sherman 12-6 in week 19. It's been a weird season for Costas.
Absolutely has. There's been moments where it's like he's right there, and there's been moments where we said, "Nope, his season's over," and I still don't know
Yeah,
where. I still don't know where it is at this point.
I don't know either. Like he's suddenly gone 26-12 in the past 2 weeks, and like it's not like he's in a great spot, but he's not
I mean,
totally
if he
out of it.
right, I mean, if he puts a big win over you this week, like I don't know, like I'm not as ready to call it. I'm not ready to call him dead as much as I am like Frank or Josh. Like I feel
Right.
like he's Casas finds a way.
But here's the thing, he can't just beat me like 10-9. He's got to
No, he's
like
got
it has to be like 14-4 or else he's out of it.
yeah.
So does he have that in him? Well, I mean, we'll see. He's gonna fight till the end.
And then
Uh,
it's well yeah, because then he's got Chris Levy in the final week, and like
oh,
like
yeah.
if he gets in after these 2 weeks, he's earned it.
Yes, he has. And if
Yeah.
anyone can do it, it's Costas, who always comes out of nowhere to claim a
Yes.
playoff spot. So, um, his winning percentage over the past month, he went 39-39. So that is an even 500 winning percentage. Well
It's
done,
pretty good.
Costas.
Yeah.
Um, let's move on to his players here. Um, where are you? You are, what's your team name? Great Apes.
Yeah.
Or Grape Apes? No, Great Apes. Okay.
I feel sometimes it is Grape Apes, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the guy is purple, so I thought it
Yeah.
was, I don't know.
It looks like a Grape Ape.
Really glad we took that second to talk about that. Over the course of the 4 weeks, his MVP is going to go to Joey. Can you say
Yeah.
can you say his last name?
Meneses, I guess? Sure.
Meneses? Okay.
All I know is he is the Juan Soto replacement
Okay.
in Washington, and he's been terrific.
Good. I mean, I don't know anything about him. I'm about to play him for 7 days, so we'll see. Um, he hit 333 with a 371 on base, 15 runs, 3 doubles, 6 homers, 9 RBIs, 4 walks, 17 strikeouts, and an error. His least valuable player is Alejandro Kirk,
Yes.
18 for 79, a 228 average, a 340 on base, 3 runs only, 3 doubles, no homers, 8 RBIs, 14 walks, 13 strikeouts, and an error.
So all he does is walk or strike out.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
Joey Gallo behind the plate, basically.
basically.
Yeah.
Moving on to his pitching staff. We'll talk about this offense in a second. Moving on to his pitching staff. The Cy Young, we will give it to Joe Ryan with 27 and 2/3 innings, 3 wins, 2 losses, 3 home runs, 9 walks, 33 strikeouts, a 3.25 ERA, and a 1.12 WHIP.
And like you could have easily given that to Tyler Anderson, Alek Manoah. I mean, there are so many. He does have some really good pitching, so be
He
wary.
does, and they all seem to be like kind of like middle of the road, like low threes ERA, like across the
Yes,
board.
yeah, they're all the same pitcher.
They're all the same pitcher. Um, Cy Yuck, we will give to Taiwan Walker. Over the past month, he has not been good. We've been talking about all Mets pitchers as Cy Young. And here we
Our
go.
first
Our first Mets Cy Yuck at 19 and 2/3, 2 wins, a loss, 4 homers, 9 walks, 12 strikeouts, 6.86 ERA, and 1.68 WHIP. That's not good.
No, and it's been rough to see because he's pitching well. It's just he's been hurt, and then like I don't know, he's never been a strikeout guy, but now he's walking guys, and it's a problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem. In total, Costas used 43 of his 48 ads.
Wow.
So there was only he didn't use 5 of his ads, which is bananas.
That's like bananas for his ape.
Bananas for his grape apes.
Yes.
What when you look at this offense, Jason, what are your thoughts here?
It doesn't. There's nobody that goes, "Oh, I can't believe I have to face this guy." I mean, Lars Nootbaar and Stone Garrett and Kyle Farmer and Joey Meneses and Yandy Diaz. Like, yeah, it's not good.
This sounds like a team that owns a farmer's market. Like I'm gonna go to Kyle Farmer's farm and I'm gonna buy a Lars Nootbaar if I want to stay gluten free.
Yeah, and then I'll buy a Stone and yeah, it's
and a Kanish.
and it's a Dandy Andy, and it's
Yandy Candy.
I mean, like Cedric Mullins had a good month, and he's been okay. He hasn't been the Cedric Mullins of 2021.
No, I think we all probably predicted that.
Exactly, but like I think at this point he's supposed to be carrying this team offensively, and that's a lot to ask for this guy.
It is. It is. And what's weird though is that the Orioles are actually not bad.
No.
And Cedric Mullin has regressed, but the players around him have gotten
better.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that.
I can't keep up with that team. So 43 ads. He is facing me this week. And like you said, he is facing Chris Levy in the final week. So good luck to you, Costas. Finally, as far as the standings go, he did not move at all in the past 4 weeks. He has been rock solid at 11.
Loving the 11th place. All right.
Loving that 11. All right. So good luck, Costas, in your final 2 weeks, my friend.
Yeah.
And let's move on to anything could happen. Let's move on to number 12.
All right. That's going to be James McCloskey. Over the last 4 weeks, he went 3-1 over the last 4 weeks, including week 16, the 10-9 win over Ben. Week 17, the 12-6 win over Bobby Russo. I beat him week 18, 15-6. And he won last week over Josh 10-8. Overall, like he's, going back a little bit further, like he's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the last 6. So like,
yeah,
he's had a good little run here, but his season was just so bad early on that it's really, he hasn't had like that big win, but he's had a lot of big losses, and that's kind of been his detriment to the season.
Yeah, and it looks like it's this middle, it's like week 8 through week 13 that really kind of screwed him up. Because
Yeah,
if you could mitigate some of those losses, like he's actually had a decent season.
yeah, he's got a lot of wins, but all of
Yeah.
them are kind of like, the 12-9s, the 10-8s, the
Yeah.
11-6s, but like he's losing 14-5, 16-5, 15-6, so he's
Yeah,
getting
true.
dump trucked a lot, and he's not dump trucking back.
Right. Right.
Overall, the last 4 weeks, he's got a 457 winning percentage. That's a 32-38 mark. Um, okay, but not great.
No.
For his players, his MVP, I don't think it's a really question. It's Freddie Freeman. What I was surprised about, so he's 38 for 109, 349 average, a 395 on base, 22 runs scored, 9 doubles, but only 1 home run. He's not really hitting for a lot of power, which is surprising. 15 RBIs, a steal, uh, 8 walks, and 16 strikeouts. I mean, still, just a absolutely incredible season. But I would have thought more power, but
Yeah.
maybe he doesn't need to in this lineup. Well, he's all you got to do is just get on base and drive in some runs.
I mean, he's getting multi-hit games like almost every
Crazy.
day.
Yeah, yeah. He's still Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
Um, so his least valuable player, guy he traded for from Joe, O'Neill Cruz. This rookie has definitely hit the wall here. He's 15 for 80, which is a 188 average, a 261 on base, 8 runs, a double, a triple, 4 homers, 8 RBIs, 2 steals, 8 walks, and 38 strikeouts with 4 errors.
Mm,
That's not what you
that
want.
is no,
Yeah,
that is not good.
and he's got Trevor Story just came back, so he's got him and Polanco to cover his shortstop. I wonder if O'Neill Cruz, doesn't see a whole lot of starting time. But at this point, I guess it doesn't really matter. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so sucks.
Yeah.
Um, losing Albies hurt, and now
Yeah.
Buxton is out too. So yeah, that's a rough stretch for Jimmy.
It looks like Albies is starting a minor league rehab assignment this week.
All right, well, it's something, but
Yeah, but thanks for nothing for this year.
exactly, yeah. His Cy Young, we're gonna give it to Robbie Ray. 33 innings pitched, 3-0, 3 homers, 11
Wow.
walks, 41 strikeouts, a 164 ERA, and a .91 WHIP.
Nice.
That's as solid as you can ask for. He has been terrific, following up on his incredible year last year.
Yeah.
His Cy Young, I don't know why he still has Michael Givens. He's had him. He drafted him, and he's never let him go. And he really hasn't been great. Over the stretch, 10 in the third inning, 0-1, 3 homers, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, a 9.58 ERA, and a 194 WHIP over 12 appearances. I know every time he comes in now for the Mets, like we cringe, like, and this was the Mets, like this was the guy that they brought in to shore up that bullpen, and it's not been pretty. I would have given it to Josh Hader, obviously, with that bananas ERA, but he only just picked him up a couple of days ago, so he's just been awful.
Yeah, he gave up like 5 runs to the Royals in like a third of an inning.
Yeah, like a 162 ERA.
Yeah, that's disastrous. Oh, 6 runs. Sorry, 6 runs.
Yeah, yeah,
And I mean he lost his job.
yeah. So I would give it to him, but Jimmy only had him for a couple of days, so didn't qualify. But
Yeah.
yeah, had to call him out. Over the month, he used a whopping 8 ads. That's less than Ari.
That is less than Ari. I don't think it's the least in our league though.
Interesting. Okay,
We're getting there. We'll get there.
we'll get there. But he's got he's got Matt coming up next this week, and then he finishes up with Joe in what should be an interesting last week to see what Joe can do as he makes his playoff push.
Yep. All right. Cool.
For the standings, he didn't move.
All
He's
right.
locked at 12th spot, so that's where he's at.
Yeah, he and Costas have been like hugging each other for a month now at 11 and 12.
It's so nice.
So nice. All right, Jason. It's
All right.
time to move on to you. So let's find you here. Nothing bigger than the
And the
bigs.
bigs. That's right.
All right. So over the course of the last month, you went 2-2. Week 16, we already talked about it. You took that tough 10-9 loss to me. Week 17, the big blowout loss 15-5 to Chris Levy. But then you came right back and big 15-6 dump trucking on James McCloskey. And then the big 11-5 win over Christian Wood. So throughout the 4 weeks, you were over 500, 40 and 36 with a 526 winning percentage.
And 2 of those weeks, I was on a cruise in Alaska with almost no internet service. So it was really fortunate.
I mean, maybe you should go to Alaska more often.
Maybe, but like that's why I knew like the 15-5 loss to Chris Levy. Like I don't want to say I didn't try, but like I tried as much as I could, but like I wasn't worried about it because I knew between my lack of internet and my opponent that I really didn't stand much of a chance anyway. So I barely even count that one.
I mean, it's not like it really affected the outcome of anything. So
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, the only person who would be mad about it would be Joe. But
sorry, Joe.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. But yeah, I mean, you came right back and 2 big wins. So I wouldn't want to play you right now. So good luck to Ben and Bobby Russo. And I said this to you through text, but Jason, you are going to dictate the course of the playoffs because you're playing 2 teams that are right on the fringe of this playoff hunt. You have the power to knock both of them out and grant access to 2 new teams.
Or we'll see what happens.
Yeah, or you can get killed and allow them both in,
We'll see.
We'll see. Your MVP, let's move on to your players here. Where are you? Nothing bigger than the bigs. Okay. Oh, you got a big home run from Kyle Schwarber tonight.
Booyah.
Was that a grand slam? Nice.
Maybe.
Nice. Sorry, I'm caught up in your today stuff.
That's good. I know what I'm doing.
Your MVP, it was not even a question. It was Jeff McNeil. 46 for 111, which I think is the best hit to at bat ratio in the league over the past month. With a 414 average, a 441 on base, 16 runs, 15 freaking doubles, 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, 4 walks, and 12 strikeouts. I think he hit like 8 of those 15 doubles against me that week. It's ridiculous.
He's been absolutely on fire. The thing is that opposing defenses don't know how to play him because they want to shift on him because he's a lefty and he goes the other way all the time. So they start not shifting him, and then he'll start pulling the ball. So they don't know how to play him.
Yeah. And it's surprising to me that more teams don't groom their players to be hitters like Jeff McNeil.
Right?
Because you see how he can torment a team. But I don't know. It's not where the money is. The money's in the power. We get it.
Yeah. But you know what? Jeff McNeil has been amazing, and he doesn't hit for power. So.
Yep. Exactly. Your least valuable player, I'm sure you would probably agree with me on this, is Whit Merrifield. 13 for 63, 206 average, 275 on base, 9 runs, a double, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. a steal, 6 walks, 10 strikeouts, and an error. But I think the worst part is the fact that he doesn't have regular playing time.
That's exactly it. We always thought like we always said like for the last few years he's been on the trading block with the Royals, and we always said, oh, if he goes to a winning team, maybe that'd be a good thing for him. He's on a winning team, and he can't crack the lineup.
No.
Like they're playing, Kevin Biggio and Espinal and Tapia over this guy, and it's like, what am I supposed to do with him?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why he's not a washed up player. He had a rough like early part of the season, but like he was great last year. And what I think was the best about him last year is that he played every day for me.
Yeah,
I think he played 160 games last
you
year.
knew you could just plug him in and didn't have to worry about whether he was in the lineup or not. Like
Yeah.
he was in there, and now like I have to move him in and out.
It must be something behind the scenes, like that the manager was like, "Don't worry, guys, I know Witt's coming, but you all have you're all starters, and he's gonna ride the bench." I don't know.
I mean, even when George Springer was hurt, he wasn't getting in the lineup. Like
I don't get it.
it's I don't understand.
Yeah. He's like JD Martinez right now. It's like
Yeah,
he's droppable, but because of his name, you don't want to drop him.
right, exactly right.
All right, let's move on to your pitching. I gave your Cy Young to Framber Valdez, 34 and a third innings, 4-0 record. 1 home run given up, 12 walks is not great, but it's the only sort of blemish here. 32 strikeouts, a 2.36 ERA, and a 1.08 whip. The fact that he kept his whip at 1.08, even with 12 walks, just goes to show he's not giving up a lot of hits. So
I think there was like I think he had like 4 or 5 in like one start, and
oh yeah.
yeah, his last start he had 4. So like, but like that was it. His whip was 0.86 that game
Yeah.
with 4 walks. So like that's all he really did.
Yeah. No, so he's been a model of consistency for you and for Houston,
Yeah,
which is why they are where they are. Your Cy Yuck, I don't think you'll disagree with me on this, is Jose Barrios.
yeah.
27 and a third innings, 2 wins, a loss, 6 home runs given up this month, 7 walks, 23 strikeouts, a 5.60 ERA, and a 1.28 whip. I think we can put Jose Barrios and Lucas Giolito in the same sentence here.
Yeah. That's a great comp because those are two guys that, especially with Barrios being on the Blue Jays now, like you really we're hoping for a solid year from him, and yeah, it
This
hasn't
is the guy
happened.
you traded for, right?
Yeah. I traded from Ben. I traded Josh Donaldson and John Gray, and I mean it's not like Donaldson's been like anything special, but I certainly was hoping that Barrios would, you know, turn it around. And he's had a couple of good starts, here and there, but way too few and far between.
Yeah, and again, like ERA over 5 on the season, just like
Yeah,
Giolito. Like this is not the consistent pitcher that, you know, where was he drafted? Fourth
the
round.
fourth round. Yeah,
I mean, that's awful.
yeah. I mean, that without looking at it, that could definitely be top 5 busts of the draft right there.
Could be. Could
Yeah.
be. Which I'm curious. We should totally do a show on that. Yeah. So that is your over the course of the month. And Jason, you used 47 out of 48 ads this month.
But you know what? I feel like, I like off the top of my head, I feel like the majority of them have worked. Like there were a couple that didn't work out so well, but over all told, I feel like there's not a whole lot of ads. I was like, damn, I wish I didn't make that ad. So there were some players I dropped that I regret dropping, but like I don't feel like many of my ads didn't work.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And you've done nothing but improve this team. Like Jose Miranda, that ad that you made, like that guy tormented me when I played against you.
Even
Uh,
like Christian Arroyo has been like really
Christian
good,
Arroyo has
and
been great.
Manny Margot has been really good, and like
Jose
I got
Jose Urquidy was a good pickup.
Yeah. I got Matt Manning a couple times. I got Eduardo Rodriguez back. So like these ads are working.
Pete Fairbanks.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm kind of mad about that one.
But I'm mad too because there's no such thing as a closer on the Rays.
I know.
So you never know if he's going to pitch the sixth or the ninth.
Right. Well, I thought Jason Adam was the closer because he got like 3 or 4 saves in a row, and then friggin' Pete Fairbanks comes out of nowhere, and Jason Adams pitching the 5th inning. What
That's the
happened?
Rays. That's the Rays.
Yeah, I hate Kevin Cash. Um, so Jason, you over the past month moved from 15th place to 13th place, so you jumped up 2 spots.
Yeah,
Um, and you are 4.5 games out of the consolation right now, which you can easily make up in the last 2 weeks. Um, which I'd love to see you get there at the very least, like just get into the consolation bracket.
I would too. Especially
And
because I was in 15th for a long time. I
yeah,
didn't think I was ever going to move out of that spot. So the fact that I moved up a couple, I'm coming.
you're coming. You're coming for it. And like we said, your next 2 matchups are very important for everything with Ben Nisman and Bobby Russo.
No pressure.
No pressure. All right. You want to move on?
Let's do it. Yeah. So now we'll talk about Mike Sherman, another team that I would say is kind of on a downward trend here. He started looking like he was maybe making some moves up the
Yeah.
standings.
Yeah.
Really kind of fell off here over the last 4 weeks. So in week 16, he did get a 12-8 win over Josh, and that's about as good as it got.
Yeah.
Then loses to Matt 10-7. That's not
Oh,
good.
no.
That's not, yeah. Um, and then loses to Joe 12-9, which that's gonna happen. And then loses to Costas 12-6. That's another one you don't want to do.
No, you
Uh,
can't do that.
all told, that's a 34-42 record, a 447 winning percentage. It's not the worst, but it doesn't really do a whole lot for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Looking at his players over the month, we're gonna give his MVP. This is a little tough for me. There were a couple of good options here, but I'm actually going Randy Arozarena here. Uh,
Okay.
29, 28 for 95 as a 295 and a 402 on base.
Nice.
13 runs, 9 doubles, 5 homers, 22 RBIs, 4 steals, 14 walks, and 24 strikeouts. Like I was going back and forth between Lindor and Turner. If you look at their numbers, they're actually quite similar. Um, and they're good. But like then I looked at a Rosarena and I was like, he doesn't have the quite the sample size as the other two, but he's as solid as it got.
Oh, yeah.
I was really surprised. Like I was not a fan of this guy coming into the season, and he's actually put together a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Um, so good for him.
Yeah. Definitely.
Another guy I was not a fan of coming into the year was DJ LeMahieu, and he
Yeah.
is Mike Sherman's least valuable player. 24 for 95, which is a 253 and a 301 on base. 9 runs, 3 doubles, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, 7 walks, 17 strikeouts, and 3 errors. Um, you know him better than I do. How has DJ LeMahieu been this year?
Bad. I don't really understand it, honestly. I'm not going to go on a big tangent. The only thing I'm going to say is that the true definition of an MVP is somebody that can carry a team to the end. Aaron Judge is the absolute true definition of an MVP because you see it now at DJ with Gleyber Torres. We just talked about his numbers. Stanton's been hurt for a while. Aaron Hicks is terrible. Like you see it with all these pieces around, and yet the
Rizzo
Yankees.
hasn't been Rizzo.
Rizzo. Yeah, we talked about Rizzo. Josh Donaldson, we talked about. Like all of these pieces, and yet the Yankees are 9 games up in first place in the AL East over like 2 incredible teams in the Rays and Blue Jays. Like Aaron Judge is the only reason that team is where it is.
Yeah, and look, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so.
You
DJ
did.
LeMahieu is not good.
You told us, and this is a guy that in my opinion, is going to fall really far in the draft
Absolutely.
next year.
Yeah, like he'll be down in the team. Where was he drafted this year?
He was drafted in the
Se-
7th round, second pick in
Yeah,
the 7th
yeah,
round.
that's gonna go way down. Um, looking at his pitching, gotta give the Cy Young to Julio Urias. 30 innings pitched, 4-1 record,
Oh,
2 homers, 7 walks, 34 strikeouts, a .9 ERA, and a .87 WHIP.
nice.
Yeah, look. He pitches for the Dodgers, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
There are a couple other options here, but when it came down to it, like he's the guy. Tristan McKenzie has had a couple of good starts, and he's kind of really turned some heads, but didn't have the numbers that Urias has. The Cy Young, I still don't know why this guy is on this team. Who is Holby Milner, and why is he like anything?
I
12 in the third innings, a loss, 3 homers, a walk, 13 strikeouts, a 10.95 ERA, a 1.78 WHIP, and 13 relief appearances. I don't know why he's rostered.
He shouldn't be rostered on any team.
I mean, what is
This is atrocious.
like? He's not a closer, so he's not getting saves. He's giving up runs. Like, why not?
And it looks like he's only pitching in games that don't matter. So,
and he's had him for like a while, hasn't he? Like for the majority of the season.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
He was added June 20th.
Yeah.
So had him for over 2 months now.
Is there nobody better out there than Holby Milner?
Everyone out there is better than Holby Milner.
Yeah, so I don't know. More power to you, I guess. I enjoy him. Dominic Leone was another one that was just like, why is he on this team?
Give the kid a shot, you know?
Yeah. Hey. He used 12 ads this month, which is not quite as low as Ari, but it certainly is not very many. There are probably ads to be made here, but funny enough, he does play Ari this week. And who does he finish up with?
Frank.
With Frank, that's right. Yes. So, some interesting matchups. He did actually move up from 15th to 14th when all said and done this month, but overall, he just has not had a good run of it here.
Yeah, and I think that jump up can be attributed to our next team taking a huge fall.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah. Take it away.
All right, so let's move on to Brian Lebo's team, who changed his team name to Fat Lady is Singering.
Yes, she is. I can hear her.
I can hear her too, but I do kind of love that. He has Brady Singer, right?
Yes.
Be funnier if he didn't. All right, so for the last 4 weeks, for Brian Lebo, he went 1-3. In week 16, he got a big 14-5 win over Matt Losey. But then that's it. All downhill and very, very, very much downhill. Week 17, a 12-7 loss to Joe. Week 18, a 14-6 loss to Costas. Week 19, another 14-6 loss, this time to Ari. It doesn't get easier with Frank and Jimmy Dunlap on his schedule. So
yeah. The fork is in. He is done.
The fork is in. Yeah, all of that equates to a 33-45 record, which is a .423 winning percentage, which is not what you want.
No, and good job to beat up on Matt like you're supposed to, but the rest of that just did not work.
Yeah, and he's actually Matt's not that far away from him in the standings now, is he?
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, no, he is.
Oh, yeah, he is. Okay.
He is 30 games back. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. All right. That lady has sung on Matt's team, but we'll get there. All right. MVP for Brian Lebo. Let's give it to Jonathan India.
Yeah, this was tough.
Yeah, yeah, not much to write home about here. But I guess Jonathan India is the choice here with a 279 average, a 347 on base, 14 runs scored, 6 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 8 RBIs, 6 walks, and 19 strikeouts and 2 errors. Yeah. What
Yeah,
else here?
I mean, it's not good, but it's the best of what's here.
Yeah. Yeah, so least valuable player. I don't know how you made that choice. But all right,
Because
let's
of
go.
name, because of name. That's
Yeah,
why.
because of name, where I agree 100%. We're gonna go with Rafi Devers here. 17 for 93, which is a 183 average, 245 on base, 7 runs, 4 doubles, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, 7 walks, 17 strikeouts, and an error. On the season, he's been pretty good, but um, it's not Rafi Devers numbers.
No, I mean, 25 home runs is nice, so maybe he finishes with a 30, but
This is his
like,
numbers last year.
yeah, I mean,
Like,
3,800, yeah, it's not even come close to that.
no.
Which kind of, I guess, tells you the story of the Red Sox season, right? I mean, they've kind of disappointed all told, and here's a reason why.
I mean, JD Martinez, Rafi Devers, and Xander Bogarts have all regressed big
Yeah,
time here.
yeah, and Trevor Story.
And Trevor Story, Jaron Duran was optioned down. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, you can see it. Chris Sale lost a finger.
and
Um,
now they're relying on Eric Hosmer, who was hurt also. So it's like, yeah,
Nobody relies on Eric Hosmer. All right, let's move on to his pitching. For his Cy Young, we are going to give it to Carlos Rodon, who, wow, 31 and a third innings, 4 wins, no losses, 2 home runs, 2 walks, 41 strikeouts. That's a pretty decent strikeout to walk ratio.
right?
144 ERA and a .70 WHIP.
Yeah,
His Cy Yuck has been Sean Manaea, who fell off the face of the planet.
yes, he
Uh,
did.
30 innings pitched, 2 wins, 2 losses, 7 home runs, 6 walks, 32 strikeouts, a 6.90 ERA, and a 1.50 WHIP. His ERA is up to 4.90 on the season.
Yeah, I mean the strikeouts are nice, but that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, it's as good as it gets. And he started so hot this year that like the fact that his ERA is almost at 5 is
Well,
insane.
just in your screen right there, look at how many double-digit ERA games there are. It just in that. I mean, I see one, two, three, four double-digit ERAs.
Yeah, over like solid chunks of innings too.
Yeah, so
That's
he's
that's
just
gonna
getting
hurt.
blasted. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not what Brian Lebo signed up for. You were thinking you were gonna get this like incredible 1-2 punch with Manaea and Rodon, and it just didn't really pan out.
not at all.
And Aroldis Chapman has been an outright disaster, and I have to say this on an episode that he is on the IL. Why is he on the IL, Jason?
Yes, tell us.
He's on the IL because his tattoo got infected.
Yes, it did. That might be the best injury of all time. Like, beats the ATV, beats a bike, it beats punching a wall, a tattoo infection.
Does it beat Yoenis Cespedes being thrown off of the into the hole off the animal,
Well, chasing a wild boar.
chasing a
It,
wild boar?
it is right up there. It is right up there. But I have to say, a tattoo infection is that's just hilarious.
It
Especially when you consider the kind of season that he's had anyway. Like it's just it, like he's been a horrible season, and that's how it's going to be. He's going
yeah.
to be on the injured list because of an infected tattoo.
I mean, at least you know that the Yankees aren't lying, because they would not make that shit up. Nobody's gonna lie about that. It's real. Um, so Brian Lebo, believe it or not, this guy used 45 out of 48 ads.
Wow.
So
Almost as many as I did.
yeah, almost as many as you. Um, but it's crazy to think that, he's still working so hard. And
It's the same cast of characters that we talked about all season long. The Phil Bickfords and Chris Martin and Chris Stratton, and like those are the guys. He keeps going back to them every single week.
yeah, yeah. I mean, when you don't have a bullpen, you kind of have to fill it with guys like that. And
Yeah,
we're seeing that. We saw that with who did we mention? Frank, and now we're seeing it with Lebo here.
yeah, absolutely right.
Um, his standings, he went from 13th place down to 15th over the course of the past month. And it's a big fall because he was in the playoff hunt at one point.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact
And
that he's this far back is like it's upsetting.
it's let's see, because going back further, like how has he been? Yeah, this is again, like I mean, he had the big win over Matt, but like it was too little, too late at that
And
point.
he doubled me up in week 8.
Yeah,
Um and that I
but
think that was when we were like, oh, okay. He's maybe Lebo's here for real this year.
then he got dumped up by Chris and then by Christian. That's a family affair,
Yeah.
and
And by
yeah,
you. Yeah.
and then Joe, and yeah, and then these last two against Casas and Ari were just like that was it.
Yep. Yep. The fat lady is singering.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
he's he's still not technically. I wouldn't say 15th is his resting spot here. He can move up a couple of spots, but it's gonna be tough.
yeah, he can get into the consolation with some luck, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. All right, Jason, we've got one team left.
Yes, we do, and it's our good friend Matt Losi. Man, I know it's been a rough season for him as a rookie coming in. Um, I just hope that he's learned something, and maybe he can come back next year and put us all in our places.
I think he'll know a little bit more about how to draft this
what
season,
and what to
next
expect. Yeah.
season. So we'll see.
Um, yeah. Looking into it, so he had a week 16. He had the big 14-5 loss to Brian Nebo. Week 17, he had a 10-7 win over Mike Sherman, which okay.
Yeah.
But then the 17-4 loss to you, and then the 19-1 loss to Chris Levy last week, which I feel good about because now my 18-2 loss to Joe doesn't feel quite as bad.
There you go. It's not the worst loss of the season.
That's right. That's right. Thanks, Matt. All told, it was a 20 and 15, 20 and 57 win loss record, which
Oh,
is a 260 winning percentage.
oh,
There's a reason that he's 100 games out of first place, and that's what it is. We'll talk about his players here. His MVP has got to be Shohei Ohtani. 316 and a 405 on base, 17 runs, 3 doubles, four triples,
yeah.
7 home runs, 18 RBIs, 15 walks, and 30 strikeouts. He had more triples than doubles.
Jeez. Yeah, I think he had 3 triples against me in the week that I played him.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But again, like this is regression from
Yeah.
last
Oh yeah. Like,
big time.
but like the Angels altogether are just horrible, and that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, his least valuable player, I could have gone in so many different directions here.
I could see
I'm
that.
going. I'm going with G-Man Choi though because again, why is he on a team? He went 5 for 52, 2 runs, a double, a homer, 4 RBIs, 8 walks, and 25 strikeouts, a .96 average, and a 213 on base percentage. What is he doing being on a team?
Yeah,
Get rid of him.
yeah. He needs to be dropped. And this guy started against me every single day.
Oh,
Every day.
25 strikeouts in 52 at bats. It's
I
yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't
But I
get
mean, Luis Gonzalez was terrible.
it.
Seth Brown was bad. Ty France was bad. Matt Chapman was bad. Like, yeah, I all of them. Brandon
At least-
Drury was bad.
Yeah. At least he got Salvador Perez,
Yeah,
I
I mean
guess.
the 23 RBIs is nice, but like,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, on his pitching side, I gave the Cy Young to Ranger Suarez. Uh, savvy pickup. That was a savvy pickup. I remember when he grabbed him, and I went, "Good to you."
Yeah.
Uh, 31 innings pitched. 1-0, a homer, 11 walks, 30 strikeouts, a 2.03 ERA, and a 1.06 WHIP. He's been solid. He's been absolutely solid. And I had him, and I dropped him, and Matt picked him up, and good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, his Cy Young, I'm going Logan Webb, who I know has been his Cy Young like week to week for a lot of the season, but this stretch was not good to him.
No.
29 and a third innings pitched, 2 and 3, a homer, 12 walks, 22 strikeouts, a 5.22 ERA, and a 1.47 WHIP. Yeah, he's had a rough go of it. That start against Detroit, I watched that game and he was just not good.
Yeah.
Uh, and then losing to Arizona, those are two teams you got to beat,
True.
and he got beat by both of them. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, again, this is you're rostering Penn Murphy, uh, Will Vest, and Steven Okert, and I mean, like, I don't know, it is what it is, I guess, at this point,
I think these guys own an office supply store.
right? I've been there.
Yeah, you've been to Penn Murphy's. Bought a vest.
Yes, Penn Murphy's auto mechanic. Um, uh, he used all of 4 ads this month.
That's the
4.
low. Yep.
Yeah, that is not a lot of ads. Um, I guess what are you gonna do at this point? But
But I think at this point he, you know,
yeah,
he conceded the season and he knows what it is.
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Obviously no movement in the standings. He's been in 16th for quite a while now. He's got James McCloskey this week, and next week he's got
Someone.
uh Christian. So
Ugh.
that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, that's mm, that's sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of a
Sorry,
pain.
playoff guys, because that's gonna be a rough one.
Yeah, that's kind of a pain.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
Well, that
that
covers all 16 teams.
yeah,
Um, do you want to get into our 3 managers of the month
let's
each?
do it. Let's do it.
All right, so just to clarify, Jason and I are picking 3 managers that we think play the best in the course of the 4 weeks, and we are going to award them double the amount of points that they would have gotten if they were just manager of a week. So it will all contribute to the total that Joe has been keeping track of.
Yep.
So Jason, who is your number 3 manager of the month?
I'm giving it to you, buddy. You have been on fire for longer than a month, and you're now sitting pretty in the 4th spot. Um, and I don't see how you don't make the playoffs at this point. So, kudos to you for doing what we knew you were going to do all along.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. My number 3 manager of the week is going to be our host of the show, Joe Schubert. Doing what he needed to do to stay atop the standings. 595 winning percentage is the second highest in our league throughout the past month. And he's just paved his way to another bye week that he's gonna earn himself here. I can't wait for this matchup with Chris Levy this week. I'm so excited for it.
It's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, but congrats to Joe on your 3rd place from me. Jason, who is your number 2 manager of the week?
Man, this is so tough because my 1 and 2 could go either way. And I would have loved to have gotten Joe in here because he has been the epitome of consistency this year, being number 1 for a very long time. But for my number 2, I'm going to give it to Ari Nisman for doing what he has done to now all of a sudden propel himself into the playoffs at this moment, using the Ari strategy that we've all boggled about, wondered about, and right now he's laughing in our faces, going, "Here I am in sixth place. Come get me." So congratulations, Ari.
And I have to just echo your sentiment. I'm gonna give Ari my number 2 as well. I think he should change his team name to like no bullpen necessary or something like that, just to like stick it in our faces.
Save your saves.
And you could say what you want about he doesn't make moves, he doesn't do this, but the fact that he is in sixth place right now with no bullpen just goes to show like he's doing something right.
Yeah, he's making the ads that he feels are necessary, and I've seen there have been days where he makes 2 or 3 ads in the day, and then there's weeks where he doesn't make a single one.
Yeah.
So like he knows what he's doing, and for all of us, it's like I can't possibly fathom how that works, but he's making it work.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, Jason, who is your number 1 manager of the week? Month. Manager of the month.
Manager of the month. It's Chris Levy. It has to be. He tore this league apart. He is now sitting on top of the standings. Who's going to beat him? Who's going to beat this guy? I can't find anybody who's going to say yes. This guy's going to take Chris down. Chris Levy is the manager of the month.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You seeing a 769 winning percentage over the course of 4 weeks is pretty ridiculous. I mean, I don't care who you're playing against. Like that is absurd.
Yeah.
And we analyzed his team at the beginning of the show. Like there are no holes. So he has done everything you can do to build a near perfect team.
I mean, barring some sort of catastrophic injury to one of his big guys,
yeah,
I don't see how he doesn't go far into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and we argued before that he could have both MVPs and both Cy Youngs on his team.
Yeah.
Which, like, if that happens, like, he better win the bigs this year.
He better win. You're absolutely right.
There may be more pressure on him this year than me last year.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. All right, Jason, I think that'll do it.
Yeah, this was fun, man.
Yeah, this was fun. I think we caught up on the past month somehow.
Yeah, and now we got 2 weeks left, guys. 2 weeks until the playoffs. This is going to be incredible.
Yes, it is. And I know that Joe and Ben probably would have loved to have been here. I know that they're still struggling with some of their Wi-Fi and connectivity issues to kind of get them both in at once. So we look forward to having them back. If for some reason next week it doesn't work out, then I'm sure that Jason and I will be back to do this again.
AAA ready to go.
AAA ready to go keeping the bench warm,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see how the final 2 weeks shake out, and then we could talk playoffs.
Let's do it.
So Jason, fun, man. Thanks so much for doing this with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, and it's always fun talking baseball with you, Mike. So I'm rooting for you. Keep rising up the standings.
Thank you. I'll do my best, and keep shaking up the standings as you're doing right now.
You know it.
All right, so you want to do our sign off?
Let's do it.
All right.
It's been real.
And it's been fun.
And it's always real fun in the bigs.
Good night, everyone.
See you next time.